I can't see anything. Well, I mean, I can see my monitor, but in terms of people, I don't know. We'll see. I'm streaming at 60 FPS. I'm not sure why, but action shots. Let me go here. Steve Schubert's watching. Hey Steve, why don't you type a comment in for me real quick? Say hi, Steve. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I'm trying to drive this thing with my phone, and this is not going well. I'm just going to monitor Facebook as soon as I turn the volume off. So I can at least see Facebook comments. The YouTube thing is whatever. I'll have to come over here, I think, to be able to see this, but at least I can see it. Forge is almost hot. I don't like using gas forge. It's something I need to get over, but I don't like using a gas forge. I prefer coal. Many reasons, but the biggest reasons is I don't like using tongs unless I have to. And a gas forge kind of forces you to use tongs. It is what it is. I'm doing this right now because I want to see how things look. Condensation is on everything. Everything I touch is wet. It's pretty humid today. Let me get a drink real quick. It's pretty humid today. I have 3 cameras, but only 2 are currently set up. So I have the wide camera, so you can see all of my robustness, and then I have, I think, we'll see. What button did I hit? I did not hit the right button. And then I have Anvil Cam. I'm hoping this view is going to be okay. What I'm already noticing though is there's a shadow, but I'm hoping that with a hot piece, the shadow won't be a big deal. If it is, I kind of have plans to get some lights, but man, between the 2 cameras currently and my little music stand that I use for the rest of the stuff, it's taking up a lot of room. So I might consider buying a light that I can hang. You can't even see what I'm pointing at. I mean, even if I come over here, you can't see what I'm pointing at. Why is this not updating? What's going on here? Oh, hey, you know, the pause button. The pause button does a thing. Who knew? And I just can't figure out if I've paused it or not. Okay, it does not look like I paused it at this point. And then somebody from work is messaging me. Oh, okay. So anyways, I think about putting a light up here to shine down on the anvil. Hopefully that would cancel out the shadows. But I don't know. You know what would be really cool with this tool, and it's not a feature that I'm aware of, is if I could somehow put comments, the chat up there, so it's easier for me to see. I can set up another monitor over here using a TV. I can do that, and I might, but if I do that, I'm just going to build in a cart that will hold the camera as well, so I don't have to have like 2 giant tripods over here. The forge looks like it's hot. It's been running a few minutes. It's nice and toasty over here. So let me find some. I did not think this through all that well. I'm not prepared to do anything. So I'm going to walk around and look for some material to work on. I don't know what. There's a thing. Let me walk over to that. Let me walk over to that thing and see what I got. That looks like 1/4 by 3/4. Well, that looks like something, I think that's something Paul did. Yeah, it was like Paul's first seahorse. So that'll do. I'm going to cut Paul's first seahorse off though. Let's see how this looks. So I'll come over here and I'll put that down. That's not bad. I think it's better than my first one. If I recall, we were basically just testing out tools. We'd made some tools for Noah for his birthday. And I think we were testing those tools on it. He did a seahorse and I did a horse. Let me put this back on the main camera. So the tool test worked. I don't think Paul had ever done a seahorse prior to that. Came out pretty good, I think. I had big plans for today, and then some ass munch at work decided to schedule a meeting at like 2 o'clock, which completely screwed up all my plans. So I decided to do this after. And I don't know how long I can do this because I don't know how long the batteries on the microphones work. I've got a boom mic, which I might put on this just to see how it sounds. We'll see. I don't know. I just don't know. I will be rebuilding this anvil stand at some point, and I think this one is going to go. I'm either going to give it away or I'm going to put my other 100-pound anvil on it. We'll see. There's aspects of this one that I like, but then there's other aspects of it I don't like, and none of it's a big deal. If I decide to keep it, I'm going to cut a lot of this out on the inside here. It's just a lot of unnecessary stuff in the way. I know a lot of guys are big on having like a little shelf. I'm not one of those people. I think a shelf would be cool. My buddy Chase made one. I think Alex Steele had done it. I forget where it was originally. I'm not sure people have been doing it, but where he had seen it, and it sits on, it actually mounts to his anvil stand and it can swivel out in and out of the way. That I think would be kind of cool, nice to have. But with the shelf down here, the problem is when you're trying to do something and you're trying to upset something on the edge here, like a ball or something, you can't get as vertical as you could if that were cut away. Now some guys are okay with just notching it, but honestly, as I look at it, I just don't see a need for it. So I think when I get around to filling my torches back up, I'm just gonna torch cut those out. All right, it ain't really hot, but it's hot enough, I guess. So I'm going to switch to the other camera. I can't really see. I mean, that comes out okay. I mean, it's really not that bright. I mean, but the color looks about right. I mean, yeah, I'd say the color looks about right. That's not bad. I was curious to see how the camera would react to the color of the steel. Now, I mean, I can get this to forge welding temperatures, but I'm not trying to burn that kind of gas right now. But I'd be curious. I might light the coal forge later. If I do that, it'll be later tonight. I'm about to take that off, and I still need it. So anyways, I don't know that anybody's even, I can't tell if people are watching or not. Y'all don't ever say anything in the comments. Y'all jump in and jump out so quick. Bunch of ADD people's running around. It's like TikTok, damn it. What? If I started tweaking my nipples, maybe. I don't know. Let me switch to the other camera. So, I think the wide view, if that's what you want to call this, is okay. I don't know how well you can see the anvil though. I got room. I got headroom that I can lower the camera. I might do that. And that would allow you to see the anvil a little bit better. That way, if I forget to switch, let me do that. It's one of these knobs. This knob. All right, let me see how that looks over here. Yeah, that'll work. And then you can still see over here. See how much of this is hot? I don't need all that hot right now. One of the things I don't particularly care for when using a gas forge. Now, I could use a smaller gas forge. I don't know. How does it do when I do this? Can I come up closer? Oh, look at that. So it's got all kinds of scale on it, whatever now. I don't think Paul's going to be heartbroken that I didn't brush his seahorse that he left in a bucket of scrap. Okay. Well, that ain't straight. That's straighter. I got an idea. I got a doodad. I don't need all of that long. I need that long. So that's kind of there was somebody here, and because I was showing them the different forges I had, gas forges, and they knew I don't really use gas forges that much, but they're like, well, for a guy that doesn't use gas forges that much, why do you have 4? Because I have 4. One was my very first gas forge, my first forge. And then I built, well, I have 5. One's not fully done. I made one that I never finished. And then when I bought the Murray, it came with a really big forced air forge. And then at some point, like 2 years ago now, I bought the little Mr. Volcano. I've never even used it. I bought the little Mr. Volcano. It was $90. It was just like a little bitty guy. And honestly, that forge is probably more appropriate to be using than what I'm doing right now for what I'm doing. I think that forge is perfect for this type of thing. But I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I intentionally did not switch the camera because I'll go back and watch this later and see what that looked like. Hey Terry, Steve, just from this angle, because I don't know. I don't know. I can kind of faux do something. Yeah, you can't see jack from this angle. But when I switch to the other camera, you can. That's going to be something I need to work on. Going from like this view to hand view, which you can't really see. I don't know. It's essentially anvil crotch view. Get over there. Because condensation is building up on this anvil. But really the big thing I wanted to do streaming wise today was play with these cameras and get a feel for how they respond to the material when I'm forging it, especially the smaller camera. This camera here will almost always be utilized for these wider shots, I think. The main camera, if you want to call it that. The nice thing about that one is I can technically just move it and then focus on the anvil if I want to. But what I wanted to do is have a separate camera dedicated to just the anvil. And I'm not sure, just looking at it right now, it's getting a clear enough picture. I just don't know if I like the angle at what it's at. I might lower it and bring it closer. I don't know. Because I want the camera on the anvil to really pick up what's going on. So, let's see if it does that. Oh, you know what? I got to switch. Got to switch. All right, let's see if it does this. All right. Ah, wait a minute. Ah, it moved again. I can't, let me see. Yeah, you can kind of see what's going on, huh? It could be better. You know what would be really cool on this thing, the streaming doodad, is like a clipping button where you can like hit a clip and save it, but also like instant replay. I think that'd be pretty cool. Hey, Brad. My phone is blowing up. Okay, it's not work related, so that's good. I might play with this view a little bit. Let me try lowering the camera down. Just a little bit. No. Get a little closer. That's still really high. Okay, let me try this. Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust this camera. Because I want the Anvil camera to provide the best overall view of what's going on. So, for me, in my world, why did that move so easily? In my world, that means you're right on the anvil. Maybe even like that. Let's see how that works out. That looks pretty good, wouldn't you say? All right. You can't see it. You can't even see. Check it. Let's see it. Let's see it. I think that's a pretty good shot. We'll see how it looks over here. Oh yeah, that's bright. Okay, anyways. No, I want you. And then I want you on a nice sharp. Come on now. Oh, that's bad. Yeah. I had a really bad hit there and blew out his nose. Really bad. But I was more concerned about the angle of the camera, how that looked. So all two of you can give me some feedback. That'd be awesome. You know. Or you can just sit there in frickin' silence. I don't care. Also, like, how does it sound? I don't know. I've been adjusting the levels a little bit. It seems a little hot, but I don't know. I mean, I haven't noticed it peaking above what I've got it set to, but I don't know what that sounds like. A little blown out. The video or the audio? I suspect you're talking about the audio. And I don't know if there is a gain setting. It's not on the microphone. Let me check on the receiver. So I can drop. How about that? Is that any better? Or is it too quiet now? I mean, it seems really quiet now, but I can adjust that here. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. How about now? Okay. How about now? Whoa, holy smokes. That was really loud, I can tell. Okay, how about now? Yeah, I think I think with the delay for me reading your comments, what's going on, I'm adjusting. It's gonna, but how are we sounding now? And then I'll see if I can fix this poor guy's nose, or I'll just cut it off and start over. Also, it doesn't help that I'm watching up there at times to see how things look. But if the volume, if the audio sounds better, then that helps. I was wondering about that because I could see it peaking out, but there was no dynamic to it, you know, so it made me think it was really hot. Plus, I think this will, like, how loud is the Forge in comparison to me? Let's see if I can fix this poor guy's nose. Oh no, he's gonna be special. Easier. Yeah, he's gonna be special. I think we're just going, oh, we're gonna cut that off. Sorry, bud. Sorry, buddy. Cool. And then we got Anvil Cam. Actually looks like it could either be lowered yet some more and leveled out, or raised up a hair. Because if I were to do it at cutting operations, you're really not going to see what I'm up to. I'm gonna try raising it up first. Provided I learned how to operate this thing once. I don't like, there we go. A little higher. Yeah. Yeah. I have come to the conclusion that I do not like this tripod. I bought some new ones, and they're the ball head style, and I really like those. Plus the mounting system on them I like better. I just like them overall. I think they're better. So for me, for the way I do things. This is like the old school, the one that's on the Anvil right now. It's like the old school mount system. So, hey. Trying to, oh, I missed it. Oh, it's okay. It's hard to, it looks like it's in focus, but I don't know, being that close, well, I mean, that looks fine. You can see my dirty ass hands. Ideally, this would be more straight in line with the anvil so you can really see the near and far side stuff. I might work on that. The hell? All right. So one of the things I gotta get into my system, my workflow. Swapping cameras. There's a app for this tool I'm using. Now you can do it on your phone or you can use the device. I'm using the device. Supposedly there's an app you can use on your phone that'll allow you to control it from your phone, which would be ideal because then I could just whip my phone out and do stuff. Because I had to move normally everything would be behind this camera. But obviously I can't switch cameras. I'd have to walk over there to do it all the time. That's not ideal. But if I had my phone, I could keep my phone over here and then just do it. And that would be nice. But it is what it is. Better than my old phone. Joey Vandersteeg is watching. We're going to inspire Joey to start forging again. That's what's going to happen right now. He's going to start forging. He's going to start putting videos. He's going to see these videos and be like, this freaking dude, I got to start doing videos again because I can't allow this kind of shady crap to be going on. But one of the things, so I don't know that Jody's sticking around, but one of the reasons I'm doing like with this camera is because of Joey. He was one of the few people. Alec kind of did it a little bit, but he didn't do it a lot. And Joey was always really good about getting nice, good close-up anvil shots. I don't think I'm going to get as close as Joey did because he was burning through lenses left, right, and center. But I also don't think I need to with this camera. I think this camera can get in pretty close and still be safe. But we'll see. I'm not as close up as he was. I mean, but like right now, this camera right now is easily 3 feet away from the anvil. The only reason it's not closer is I'm running out of cord, power cord. Once I get that sorted out, that won't be an issue either. But yeah, I can get it closer. So when I cut these off, I got to upset that end back in because that's not going to leave a very nice tip for the horse. There, I took all that. Oh, you can't see. You can't see. But I took, oh, you definitely can't see. Anyways, it's in manual focus, so I can't force it to focus on that without pulling it back. But there was some rag on the end of that. So all I'm doing there is upsetting that rag back down into it. You could file it off. You can take it to a grinder and hit it on the grinder real quick. All things I'm really not trying to do like right now. Maybe grinder cam? Probably not. But again, workflow. Switching back and forth on these cameras is something I'm going to have to get. Oh man, the hole in my hoodie is expanded. But switching the cameras back and forth is something I'm going to have to kind of like break myself into doing, I think. I think this camera, so when I get the third camera set up, I think it'll be okay. Because I wanted this camera to kind of be the wider angle so you can see things that's going on. But I wanted the detailed cameras. So this one, there's gonna be a camera on the anvil, and there's gonna be a camera on one of the power hammer, whichever power hammer I'm using at the time, unless I decide to use all three, in which case, if I'm doing something like that, these cameras will be more focused on that. What I might do is just set up one in between so I can just pan them back, you know, just swap them back and forth. I don't know. We'll see. Because I'd like to capture some of that stuff. There's a lot of power hammer content out there if you really go digging, but man, it seems like it's really hard to find good power hammer content. Not that I'll be producing any of that, but I will be publishing some of that. How about that? Won't be me, but I know a guy. I know a guy. All right, you try to move on me? You did. Hey. That moved. Gotta fix that. All right. I tell you, and I know I'm not getting this as hot as I should be. I could probably close the forge off a little bit, to be honest. That would probably help. But one of the things, and I've always had this conspiracy theory that gas forges, the material doesn't get hot in the same way as it does when you're using coal or a solid fuel, you know, forging. Even in comparison to induction forging, it doesn't seem, in my mind, doesn't seem to get hot the same way. Like, it just never seems to really soak in. I don't know what that, granted that this is a small piece in a really large forge, so that could be part of it. I don't know, but it's always felt that way to me. Like what I just did, I can usually shape a horse head in one heat, usually. Not all the time, but if I'm working in coal, I can usually do that in one heat. It always feels like I have to take 2 or 3 in gas. Now, a big part of that is me running my mouth. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I didn't switch again. Ha ha. I'll switch this time. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go get some tea. I'm not forging in coal, so I guess I could technically leave my tea over here. Now, one of the cool things about this setup is I could technically be recording on the camera as individually, and then just when I get done, I could take those recordings inside and edit it all together and do a thing. That way, all the times I forget to switch wouldn't really be a big deal, except for streaming. But I'm not doing that. That's too much work. Eventually, I might get there, but as of like right now, it just feels like way too much work. So I don't even know why I'm dicking with a horse head, to be honest. It's just what came to mind. What little thing I could do and come back and watch and see the progress on camera. Let's see. Okay. That neck needs to yeah, that's better. Not even, but it's better. Let me find a couple of tools. So I'll need a chisel. I'll need a fuller. I'll need, I definitely won't need that, a ball punch or a ball fuller, and a nose punch, and an eyeball. There's an eyeball. Nose, I don't know where the nose is. You know what's funny about that is I recently made one too because I couldn't find it. I got a whole box of various punches down here. I want to know. Let's see. Nope. Say if I was any kind of non-idiot, I would have dug this stuff out a long time ago. What's that? That is not one. Okay, so we might be a noseless for the moment. I'm pretty sure I have one in my truck. Oh, wait a minute. I bet you there's one in here. And a glove I actually might need. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on so I don't forget, walk away without it. Chisel. And nope. Nope. Huh. So yeah, might be skipping the nose at the moment. That's okay. That's okay. Don't know. Kind of don't care right now. So, to me, this is the least ugly side. Yeah. So that's the side I will swear I hear something beeping. I don't know where it's coming from though. So I'm going to give him a little mouth action. I'm going to give him a little ear action. Get this hot again before I continue, which will give me an opportunity I think it's the forward whistling. Give me an opportunity to look for that nose punch. Should have thought this through a little bit more. One day, oh look, it's on the wrong camera too. Oh, you know what? Here, now this is funny. There, yeah, there's one right there on the ground. I will take the blame for this, but I typically do not. I'll leave all kinds of other things on the ground, but my punches and chisels, I typically do not. Oh. Drifts all day long. I have a bad habit of doing that. But hey, I found the nose, and oh, what? That was like a really bad center punch. Like, I mean, not bad, but it looks like it got flattened. Bad. That kind of bad. All right. So we got wrong side. Oh, forgetting again. Boop. So I'm gonna go ahead while it's fairly hot. I'm gonna put the eyeball up here somewhere. I do not like doing this twice because I always tend to overcorrect or double stamp it or whatever. And I try to let the nose or the part of this guy cool down a little bit before I do the nose, because I have had a bad habit of shearing his nose off otherwise. That looks pretty good. So fairly happy. I'm not happy with the proportions by any stretch, but there's a spider up here dying, a horrible death. Get out of here, bub. You're going to the big web in the sky, bro. That's where that's at. I'm not big on those proportions. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look great either. So, it's whatever. I'm gonna switch back over to this. Hit that boom boom button with the magical transitional stuff going on. And then I'm going to grab this fuller. I'm gonna grab this fuller, but I'm gonna start with this fuller. It's a little more narrow. I like this for the ear. And I don't want it crazy, crazy hot. I just want it hot. So, oh, I didn't hit the button. Hey, Susan. I didn't hit the button. So I'm going to bring this in line. Boom. Ear. I think I might stick with this fuller. I don't hate it. Anyways. Now I gotta remember, while that gets hot, I'm gonna let it get hot this time. I'm gonna bounce back over to the other camera with the magical transition, because it makes me look like I'm a pro. I am not. And meanwhile, I'm going to kick this stool out of my way. And oh yeah, I need to remember when I get done tonight, I got a little tray thing set up over here. That's what I've been feeding my shop cat on. I say my. I've never actually met the cat. I've just seen it on camera. But I've been putting its food up on that tray. I need to remember to put it back up there. I don't want it. I mean, cat's gonna do what a cat's gonna do, but where his food currently is, I don't want it up there creating mayhem, which it'll probably do anyways. But I figure if I can limit mayhem to over here, fine. So far it hasn't really done anything crazy though. Like our house cat, he's off the wall. Like at 3 in the morning, that dude is running around like a psychopath. He decided to give old Benny, our little tiny dog, give old Benny a whooping the other night, to the point that, like, I mean, he cracked him upside the head twice, really good. Like, they were good pops. Yeah, I've never seen him hit the other dogs like that before. He'll run up and he'll grab them by the neck and, like, you know, try to bite on their necks. But I think he's only made one dog yelp that I can recall ever doing that. But man, he popped the hell out of Benny, poor guy. I don't even know what Benny did. He was running, the next time I just heard pop, pop. It was like, what? It sounded like a little gun go off. I think one more run with the puller. And you couldn't see any of that because I forgot to switch. Another thing I want to do with the cameras, and I don't know how well it's going to work out. I'd love to try and get an overhead camera. But that means I'd have to mount something up there semi-permanently, because I'm not going to try and set that damn thing up every time. So we'll see. I've not ruled it out. But if I want to do this type of stuff on a regular basis, which I do, I'm trying to figure out the best ways I can simplify it so that it's not demotivating me to come out here to do something, or at least with that. Where like this today, this was set up in 2 stages. I came out and set up the tripods and some of the other stuff, and then I brought the cameras out, and then kind of figured out where I wanted them, and then it's been kind of tuning them from there. So I would guess once I get the system down, probably take me 30 minutes every time I want to get set, which is fine because that gives the fire time to get set up, smoke a little bit of time to clear. Though I think the smoke adds a little ambiance. There is none right now really, except for the cigar smoke. I like it. You don't like it, you can, well, you know what. Ah. Man, I like, am I on fire? It sure feels like I'm on fire. I like that. I think that looks good. So, a little more heat. I forgot to do the cheek. But overall, oh, and you couldn't see it again. You'll see it this time. Overall, I think it looks okay. Not great. I'm still not, the proportions are, they're not great, but I don't hate them. That might be a bit big for that cheek. Let's see if I got another one over here. The other thing with these cameras I got to be careful of is the cords are all over the place. So I think I'm gonna have to order longer cords so I can stretch them out behind things so that they're not in the path of walking and things like that. I mean, the tripods alone are already kind of in the way, but when you throw in cords, and I'm not, that might be too small. I'm not too worried about tripping over a cord per se. I'm more worried about tripping over a cord and taking down a tripod in the process with, you know, a semi-expensive camera on there. Not that these are like super. I have one camera that's expensive. The others are eh. But I don't want to tear up my cameras if I don't have to. Yeah, that's way too big. That one, way too big. Yeah. Oh, I did it again. I did it again. Maybe I should just leave it on that. So anyways, that's where that's at. That scale did not move. So we'll tap into our inner Roy Adams videos, and we'll just do them like this from now on. I fully understand what was going on now. So all of our future videos will be done down here at the anvil, so you can see our hands. Will not, but for the sake of not forgetting to show you what was going on yet again, I'm going to brush this on Anvil Cam. Okay, that looks better. I'm going to put a big old hole in it with this guy. This is not, it is a slot punch, but it is not flat. It is not a flat bottom punch. It actually has a bevel very similar to a chisel. Just, I know it's very hard to see it. That is not going to zoom or focus on that, but That's the best I can do, really. So I always drive my punch to the detailed side because I don't want to inadvertently bash out the detail. So I tilted, marked, tilted, marked. Now I'm just connecting the dots. That way, it's easier to find that slot, that marking. I can find it versus feel for it, or I can feel it rather than using my eyes to find it. So it's not perfectly straight, nor is it perfectly centered, but it's close. I wasn't paying attention, to be quite honest. You'll find that as a theme, by the way. But when you do that and you get you get kind of into the zone, that gets a lot easier. And I find if you need precision, that's the best way to do that. Mark it in a black heat or whatever, dull orange, something you can see, then go from there. And you always want to make sure that if you can, the best you can do is make sure that your slot punch is right at the size of the hole that you want. So if it's a 7/8 hole that you're going for, that your slot is 7/8 or just ever so slightly under. If you shoot over that, obviously you'll never be able to drift it to 7/8 because it's always going to have a little funkiness going on. If it's too big, too small, and you drift it out to 7/8, what will happen is that the holes, it's going to move the material, so you got to account for that movement. So the closer you can get that to perfect, the less movement there will be lengthwise. Well, that ain't straight at all. That ain't straight at all. I think I ought to be fixing that. Well, this cigar is acting a little funny. Don't want to light up. Whose fault is that? Yours or mine? I don't know. I don't know. I don't need this super hot. I'm just sharing that plug out. When you're shearing, you don't need it blazing hot. But I got to fix that because it's not straight. There, now it's straight. Well, straighter. It's almost out. Almost. Somebody complained that I was deleting videos that I'd put up. If it says test or something like that, it's almost guaranteed I'm going to delete that. I mean, almost guaranteed. Those are me dicking around, trying to figure out things with this stuff, and then I'll go back and watch a little bit of it, and then get the info I need, and then delete it. This isn't necessarily a test. This is just, I'm just goofing off right now. Boy, I was off. Big time. Off. I haven't forged anything in feels like almost 2 weeks. I think I swung my hammer 2 or 3 times over at Kurt's the other night, last week. I really didn't do much then either. I got to get in a workflow for when I go to Kurt's to stop and get cash so I can help pay. I keep forgetting that, and I don't feel right about doing anything when I get there, so I'll just kind of just hang out. But some of that is because I forgot to stop and get cash. So I got a little piece of rag right here, and I'm going to try to knock that out as cleanly as I can. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, I think that needs to see a file. We'll see. That was not a clean punch at all. Not by damn sight. No, I really have this driving urge to go check on one of my trees, but I'm going to hold off on that. I'm sure it'll be fine. Those of you that know, you know. Anyways, I don't know if my pipples are home. I don't think I was supposed to cook. I cooked last night. Does that mean I'm off the hook tonight? I don't know. So, there's a piece of rag hanging on this. And I'm just trying to coerce it out of there. There's a little bit right there. Yeah, it's going to require some grindy fixy fix. It is what it is. I think it shows one person watching. I think I'm the one person. Is this thing still in focus? It's hard telling sometimes. Yeah. And I can do some power hammer stuff, but you're just going to be looking at my butt, which I know most of y'all do anyways, but it's just kind of weird. And if we're going to have a moment where all you're going to do is look at my butt, I'm setting up an OnlyFans account. Oh, I can get paid. No, doing this one-handed kind of sucks. Doing this out without a handle, that really sucks. I think most of that will fall away later. Jamie Geyer's watching. Is watching. I don't know. What's up, Jamie, if you're still there? I'm just playing around with my cameras, not doing anything worthwhile. Burning $3 a gallon in propane, or whatever it came out to. It was more like 4. I mean, I knew my Tractor Supply was a little more expensive than some other places, but whew. That convenience fee was almost like twice as much. Another moment of me not being equipped and ready. I don't have a slot opening drift over here. Let me go seek one out. Seek it out. Got a billet. I don't need a billet though. You ever find things in your tools and you're thinking, what the hell did I make that thing for? I have that experience a lot. A lot. Come across things. I think sometimes they're just failed tools. I come across them and like damn, what in the world? Time you gotta drift something, check and make sure it's going to actually pass through the hole all the way. This one is good. Don't be like Rob and check the wrong anvil. I did that at the fair. Not cool at all. Keep that thing off the anvil. It'll stay hotter longer. It do. In my particular case, I don't know that that's going to matter much because I don't see the drift I'm looking for. So I'll just put that back in. That rag is still haunting me, laughing at me for being a dodo. Excuse me, pardon me. Looking for another drift. I see one over here, but it's a little bigger than I'd like to go to. But hey, you do what you do. So clearly, we ain't going through there. Almost there. Almost. Not quite though. This time, I'm just going to, I just got this big boy. I think I got this from Mark Ling. But I'm going to take this. So here's one of the reasons why I want to redo this anvil, because that didn't pass all the way through. I mean, it did, but it didn't. But I want to take this to this size, I think, maybe. Next. I would normally, I've got them, I'm just not going to go look for them right now. But normally I just step up the drift size each time. And a lot of times when you do it that way, you can pass through, 3 or 4. I've watched Ed Brazil take a hole all the way, open it all the way up to like an inch in one heat by doing that. He stepped it up each time. Each side he just went bigger and bigger. But it was incremental, small drift sizes as he went. I mean, he didn't go, from 3/8 to 1 inch right off the bat. That's not going to work. I mean, you can do it, but it's not ideal. But yeah, I do not see any of those drifts readily available. So I'm just going to do this. And you can do, I could have done this to whatever size this is. I could have started there. 1/2 inch it looks like on the end, about. And you could just work that back and forth. Knock it down a little bit, knock it free, turn it over, repeat from the other side. But if you have individual small drifts that you can knock all the way through, my experience has been your piece will stay hotter longer and allow you to upsize it quicker. Because as it falls through that hole, that heat is going to wick back around the hole versus being completely sucked out by that big boy, which is what's going to happen. You'll see. You'll see. I ain't lying you. That's where I'm at with that. I don't know. I really had no plans for this, to be honest. I mean, in its current state, it's a bit long for most forge tools that I would use. And this hole could still use some cleaning up. So I'm going to take one more heat on that. I could take the time to practice forging that over the horn. I'm not going to, but I could if I wanted to, which I don't. But if I wanted to, I could. I have no idea what time it is. I'm assuming it's getting to be 4:30. Yeah, so I assumed, because people were actually some people are actually starting to watch. I want that a bit hotter. I'm gonna pop this over to the other camera though. Boom! Look at that. Look at it. Would you look at it? Would you just look at it? Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. All right. So, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But for no more than what I was doing, it'll be fine. Now the real question is what do I do now? Do I forge it into something useful? I don't know. I mean, I suppose I could. There's no reason not to. I don't know. I just don't know. I could forge it into a rake. I could forge it into a poker. There's probably not enough material there to make a spatula, though another forged spatula would be nice. Ooh, I know what I can do. I can weld it to that. And then we'll have a forged spatula. Hot diggity damn. Couldn't you imagine that? So all the things I'm gonna have to do, let's put the old over-under bottle opener on that. Here it is. Oh. We'll weld this on there as a it'll be a forged spatula. It's not perfect by any stretch, but it'll spatule. It'll spatule. Yeah, it'll spatule. What do you think? There's like a slight bevel on this edge, which could be useful, I suppose. Just leave it, and it could be used for chopping up Coke or whatever. But yeah, not a whole lot to that, I guess. It'd be fun. It'll be fun. Proof positive that we can forge weld in the Apollo Forge. How about that? All right. I don't think I'm going to have enough heat to do this side. That's okay. We'll get it started. Well, we got one side started, well done, and then we'll start the other side. Somebody calling me. I don't know who you are. You can F right off. I don't know who you are. Go away. Why you be calling me? Doing important things here. So, if anybody's actually watching, what do you guys think of this view? Can you see enough of what's going on, or should I adjust the camera again and make it better? I'm struggling. Like, I feel like you can see the far edge pretty okay, but I don't feel like you can see the near edge very well. Maybe what I do is I move it later, not right now, but move it later, and then I can compare it later and see what I think. Because ultimately, that's what matters, is what I think. There we go. This one could probably come out just a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. It'll be fine. So now I like to leave about 4 fingers of width on my hand for the handle before I begin the taper, which I measured once, and it is not coming to me at the moment. It looks like that is almost 4 inches. So what I'll do is I'll start the taper at 3.5. So 3.5 from here is right there. Or right in there. And I'll just mark it. Dustin Baker's watching. What up, Dustin? Oh, I'm on the wrong camera again. Wrong camera again. So I like the handle transition on those. I know, before it really gets going, this one's not a great example, the coal rake, but I can hold it up here too. But I find that if I start my taper around 3.5 to 4 inches, I got plenty to hold there, and if I don't like it, it's easy to blend that taper down a little bit more, rather than being left with, like on this one, it just feels like it's a little too small. But it's a coal mop, so I mean it doesn't need to be great. But that way it just gives me a little room for error. One of these days I'll actually sit down and figure out what that should be, so I know just every time, and then I'll just go, for what I like. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna turn on my power hammer, and I have a set of it's like a spring fuller tool somewhere. Here it is. And I'm going to use this to set down where I want that to be. But I'm going to do a good portion of this at the anvil. Mostly because I want to see the camera angle and see how that looks. But let me go grab another glove. So it's just a fullering tool. And all that I'm using that for is to ease the transition, and I'm kind of hoping it will give me, it's not going to be perfect, but it'll give me relatively symmetrical shoulders. But mostly I'm just looking for it to ease the transition. If you were to do a shoulder like that on flat dies, then there is no, not on these dies anyways, there's no easing into that. What's going on there? Well, that's interesting. I bet you the tire pressure looks a little low. Look at that. Oh, I see what's going on. Get out of here. I know what's wrong. I didn't oil it. I usually do that when I come out. I just forgot. But yeah, I'm just using this to ease that transition. Yeah, look, it's much better. Okay, so there's my mark. And that's all I want. That's all I want. I don't know how well you can see that, but, and it doesn't, I don't need it to be straight. I don't care about that. I just want that ease. Because I'll start from here and work back. That's all I was looking for on that. You could do that at the anvil. You can do that on the horn. You just, the best thing you can do is try to find a spot on your horn that matches the radius of your hammer, and then do that there. You can do that there. I suck at that, by the way, but also I have a tool that makes it easy. You see how it offset it? All I had to do is turn it over and hit it again, and I could push it back. But that would take it thinner than I need it to be right now. So I'm not worried about that. It'll straighten out when I get ready to finish it. Right now, I'm just trying to draw it out. And here is one of the moments that I do like having a gas forge with a big heat. I can push this in there a little further and get a lot more hot. Because I'm going to take this to the, oh no, I wanted to do that here. Maybe I won't do that. Maybe I won't do that. Because I want to see it on the camera. My natural instinct now is to take it over to the power hammer. I'm getting better at this. I'm going to switch to the other view. Because I want to see what the camera sees when I go back to watch this, to see if I should change the angle that the camera is currently sitting at. I'm leaning towards yes, only because you can't really see the near side, what's going on there very well. And if it was more in line with, you know what, why talk about it? Just do it. Just do it. So if I move this more in line, oh yeah, well, and somewhat centered, I think that is going to be better. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. Okay. Sorry. Okay, I think I couldn't actually see what was happening, but that will give me an opportunity to go back and watch the film later, and then that affords me the opportunity to put this whole bar deeper into the fire, the forge, and utilize my power hammer for the rest of the work. Not that that's hard. That was what, let's just say 3 inches. And it's not quite there. So 3 inches, 4 heats, I should be able to get that about where I want it to be lengthwise. Maybe 3 heats if I really got after it. I feel like I could do more if I was on a coal forge for that, but again, that could just be me conspiracy theorizing. but the hammer will make short work of it. And then for the power hammer stuff, I'll let you look at my butt the whole time. I know how everybody likes that. And what'll be cool, hey, the wifey's home. What'll be cool is I can move this setup over this way and catch the other forge. And that's where we tend to do a lot of the striking work. So that when like Paul comes over, we can set this up in the opposite direction and do striking work and start capturing a lot of that. The only problem with that I see is these, they put off so much dirt and dust and everything that I might need to figure out like an acrylic box or something for the cameras so that they're not getting covered in dust the whole time. But we'll see. So one heat on that, it's almost done. I want to leave it a little thick, and I feel like I've already exceeded the length that I want, which is not good. Let me see. Got a spatula around here I can compare to. And just okay. So that's all the more I'm not doing any more with that because I don't want it getting any thinner or any longer than it is. It's already. What the hell did I do with those tongs? Oh. So it's already in the realm of, I mean, it's just longer than the other one. So I only need a little bit of this to weld to that. So I'm gonna let that cool down because my bucket's frozen. But anyways, I'll bring it over. I'll finish it off, but there's not much more I'm gonna do with that simply because it's already getting too long. And I don't want, it'll stretch more by the time I'm done. I should have marked the other side, but I did not. Yeah, that grew a good 3 inches, it looked like. So if you ever come over and you look to this direction, you'll see where I throw my cigars. There's quite the pile there. I think I'm going to need to clean up this spring. Otherwise, I'm going to have a giant mulch patch right there, which might not be a bad thing. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to take this off for a moment. We'll go check out something. This bag on somehow, some way, making all the noise. Yeah, come on now. Got my beard. All right, anyways, I should be hot enough to do what I needs to do. I had to go check on my front porch, make sure it was still there. And it was still there. All right. That looks good enough for me. You can see that needs to be fixed, but this part looks fine. I didn't touch this down here. It's not ready for that yet. This transition needs to get a little love, and then I need to blend this better. But I don't have a way to cool this thing off because my water bucket's just a giant bucket of ice. And I don't have water in the shop, so I can't just dump it and go get more water yet. So, while I wait for this to cool off somewhere, I will do something else for the time being. I want to Actually, I already know what I want to do because I want to see it on the anvil with the camera, with the anvil cam. That's what I'll call it, anvil cam. And then I'm going to go inside and not do anything for a little bit, and then come back out and play with this some more. At least until it gets so cold that I don't want to be out here. So I have, I know I've got more of this, and I think it's 5/8. No, it looks like 1/2 inch. So ooh, wait a minute, there's a piece right there. Somebody chewed it up though. Oh! Wow. I bet you I know who did that. Corbin. Now, you know what? I could use that bar, but I want to hold this by hand and do it what I want to do to it. So I'll use this bar. Oh. I'm not doing anything fancy right now, I mean, ever, but I'm definitely not doing anything fancy. I'm really just playing with the cameras, and I haven't really forged anything in like 2 weeks, so having fun with that too. But really, I want to check out the view on Anvil Cam, if that's what I'm going to call it, so I can switch to that camera. And then just see how that looks. I'm just going to leave it there so I don't forget again. When I come back out later, I might switch to coal. We'll see. But right now, I think Anvil Cam will allow me. I can watch this later. See, that's the only thing I don't like is it seems. How well does this come out? Because this is typically where the work's getting done. So, that's not bad. Hell, I don't really know what it is I'm going to make right now. I could do a leaf. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. You know? I don't know. I really don't know. I'll do something and use the horn. I'll do a leaf-like thing on the horn. We'll see how that goes. looks like you can kind of see what's going on. I guess that's good. Not the greatest work in the world. I feel like the camera could be closer and a little lower. Let's try that. Still seems like it could be lower. It's still in focus though. That's good. I guess. Let's see. Horns. I'm only using the horn because I want to see how it looks on that camera. Otherwise, I would not be doing this on the horn. I mean, well, maybe if you're doing like a calla lily, maybe that's what I'll try. Maybe that's what I'll try. That was all over the place. That was all over the place. That's okay. That's okay. Gotta think through how you do the calla lily. Blah, 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 blah. Probably help. Well, I got a little crossbeam, I guess. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm supposed to be doing this where I can actually see the video later. Derp. Derp, derp. Well, a little bit of all of it. How about that? We'll go back to Power Hammer booty cam. That flatter is, feels like it's been kicked up. I feel like it was more in line. I don't know. Maybe not. It seems like if you're following a taper, your arm's going to be really high. That'll do. It'll do. Let's go back to anvil cam. I got to fix this transition up here. And I hit it with the power hammer. And I don't want the stem to be super clean. I want it to be lumpy bumpy. Which honestly, outside of forming stuff, that's usually the most I use the horn for. Things like that. I don't typically draw out on the horn, especially on an anvil this small. This one's anchored, so probably not a big deal. But if you're drawing out on a horn on a small anvil, and you're using a stump or whatever, that's a lot of leverage, and it's going to start rocking your stump or your stand. Especially if you're really getting after it. So, I mean, you do you, but I just find it more efficient to do any serious drawing out on the edges. Sometimes I'll use the horn to clean up stuff though. Sometimes I will. So now, I got this a little bumpier than I'd like, so I'm just going to slightly take them out. Not a lot. And then that'll also give me an opportunity to figure out this side. And I'll probably take that to the power hammer as well. So, let's switch back to booty cam. Booty cam! I should call it booty cam. No, it's really cool. This system, I don't know. I'm assuming you can do it with HDMI. I don't know, but the SDI version of this, if you're using SDI cameras, you can actually control the camera with that machine. Not the one I have. There's another model. It was like $300 more. But yeah, you can do some really cool stuff with it. If I was like, if I was like an actual YouTuber type dude, I could see where that would be a thing. I could definitely see it. I'm gonna take this as a hammer real quick and flatten it. There we go. I could go thinner. Booty cam. I could go thinner. I don't want to go too much thinner though. Whoa. It's on the ground. Why would it be on the ground? So I'm going to use this tool next, just to kind of give me a little spine on that area, to kind of strengthen it up as I do the other stuff to it. This isn't, what's really funny is this one's not my good one. I don't know where my good one is, but it'll do. It'll do, pig. It'll do. All right, so I want to straighten this out a little bit. And this side's got more meat on it, so that's the side I want to put down. Right about there. That's all I want to do. So, I just add that little spine right in there. And if you want to, you can file that away, put more appropriate size material in it so you don't get the flashing. But for this, I don't think I need to deal with it because I'm going to curl that up anyways. So that's all going to get kind of curled up. There's something in my glove. I just hope it's not a critter. That would make me sad that I'm smushing a critter. No, it's swarth from the mill. Now it's getting into my glove. I don't know. Anyways, because I'm rolling that up, I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it matters. So we'll see. I've only done like one or two of these. And it's been a minute. I tell you, I feel like that could go thinner yet, but I'm not going to do that. That did not do at all what I wanted it to do. So, I'm going to get my helper out. get my helper out. Fix what I just did, if I can. Really squared that up, and I didn't mean to do that. I think it'll be okay though. I don't know. I'm playing for my amusement. You can't even see the swage block. Well, I mean you can. You just can't see what I'm doing with it. What the hell? What the what? Well, if I do that, how about that? There we go. So if I do too much, then you can't see the other part of the anvil. Actually, you can't. That's okay. I'll fix it. Okay. I better put that cross peen away before Andrew Larson sees me on here. Can't have that. He's gonna think I'm turning into some kind of convert or something. I think I drank way too much tea all at once. I wanna, in my mind, I want to wrap this up as tightly as I can get it, and then I start opening up the top. I'll use the cross peen on the horn for that. But it's not as wrapped as much as I'd like yet. Hey, yeah. Almost there. I think you get a pretty cool effect if you buy the blanks. I think Roy, well, I know Roy has them. I don't forget, I think he's got different sizes. And I don't have a problem with any of those, especially if you're trying to do like a really big, cool sculpture type thing. I think it was really nice. I just like the challenge of doing things out of one piece. I think it's cool to show massive changes in cross section on a piece of material. Not quite where I want it. I'm getting there. And I actually might need to switch back to the little crossbeam to get what I want. Just because it's got a much smaller face and I can do that kind of thing. I might even put this swage block back up to see if that will help a little bit. And I'll use one of the round sides this time. I think that side's... We'll see. We shall see. You can kind of see it. There's this little piece right on the outside I'm trying to get flowing with the rest. It's a lot better, a lot better. I don't know how well. I might do that one more time. I'm going to try it without the swage block though. I need to make a couple of stands for these things. I don't like using them on top of my anvils. It's just they're not very stable. My goal is to eventually make these impressions drop into the Hardy. Little blocks that'll drop into the Hardy. That way I can use them in that on the striking anvils and such. All right, I think that's pretty close. Now there's no way that will go into my onto this horn. This horn is not that sharp. I'm gonna guess it's about almost ½ inch on the end. I don't know about the Henry Wright. Ooh, just. But there's a lot of cabling and such over here. I don't really want to mess with that. So, what shall we do? I think the play is to open it up. Well, this tool is just a punch, but I can open it up a little bit more with this, put it in a vise and then open it up. So we'll see how that goes. No, it ain't gonna fit in that vise, it's too big. That's too big too. Gonna need something a little smaller. I don't know if I have anything quite that small right now, readily available. Let me see. I don't know. I'm getting ready to end this anyways, so probably not a big deal. There's plenty of footage there showing off the angles that I was trying to capture with the camera. So we'll see if that gets me what I wanted. And then we will shut this down. Come over here and hit this little button. Hit that little buddy. Everything's wet. And notice I disconnect my propane when I'm shutting this down. And I don't kill the air right away, but I will kill it here in a minute, only because I'd like the stones to cool as naturally. I mean, you use the air to push out any residual propane that might be lingering in there. And that's probably more than enough now. Oh. And there she goes. Quiet as clam. So when I come back later, I'll figure out finishing this off. I mean, it came out pretty good. You can't really see it from there, but I will walk up to the camera with it. But yeah, it came out okay. I just need to find a drift that I can open the end up with. Meanwhile, I'm gonna put this on the ground away from my cables. And I'm gonna go hit the off button because I'm done for now. And I'll be back probably in an hour or so, maybe 2.